There are things you will carry beyond death. Padre Pio saw them. Not photographs in an album. Not memories filed away like letters in a drawer. He saw which ones burned themselves into the soul so deeply that they survived the crossing from this world to the next. He saw which moments stayed and which ones disappeared like smoke. And what he saw changed how he lived every single day. Padre Pio did not see the spiritual world as theory or possibility. He saw it the way you see the room around you right now. Angels moved through his church like companions at his side. Demons prowled in corners, waiting for weakness. Souls passed before his eyes, some radiant, some shadowed, some trapped between light and dark. And among all the visions God granted him, one truth emerged with terrible clarity. Not all memories survive death. Only certain ones remain. Only certain moments are written so deeply into the fabric of who you are that they cross with you into eternity. This is what Padre Pio witnessed, and this is what he tried to tell anyone who would listen. It began during Mass one morning in San Giovanni Rotondo. The chapel was quiet, filled with early light. Padre Pio stood at the altar, his hands raised in consecration, when the vision opened before him like a curtain pulled back from reality itself. He saw a soul standing in a vast empty space. The soul was newly arrived from earth. It had just crossed the threshold between life and death. Around it, images began to appear, floating in the air like fragments of glass catching the light. These were memories. Every moment the person had ever lived. Every conversation. Every choice. Every thought and feeling and action from birth to final breath. They hovered there, suspended, waiting. Then something happened that made Padre Pio's heart stop. Most of the memories began to dissolve. They faded like mist under morning sun. The soul reached for them, trying to hold on to them, but they slipped through its grasp and vanished completely. Birthdays disappeared. Vacations faded. Arguments that once seemed so important crumbled into nothing. Awards and accomplishments and daily routines dissolved as if they had never been. The soul watched them go, powerless to keep them. But some memories did not fade. Some memories grew brighter. They intensified until they blazed with unbearable clarity. And Padre Pio saw which ones remained. Every moment of love remained. Every time the person had shown kindness to someone in need. Every prayer spoken with genuine faith. Every sacrifice made for another's good. Every instant of forgiveness offered or received. Every act of service done without seeking recognition. These memories did not fade. They became more real, more vivid, more present than they had ever been in life. The soul could see them, feel them, relive them with perfect clarity. They were treasures that had survived the crossing. But there were other memories that remained as well, and these burned with a different kind of light. Every moment of deliberate cruelty stayed. Every lie told to harm another. Every time love was rejected for the sake of selfishness. Every betrayal. Every act of violence or hatred or cold indifference to suffering. These memories also blazed with perfect clarity. The soul could not look away from them, could not explain them away, or justify them or minimize them. In the light of eternity, they were exposed exactly as they were. Padre Pio understood what he was seeing. This was the judgment that every soul faces. Not a judgment imposed from outside by an angry God keeping score. The judgment was the soul seeing itself truly for the first time. In life, we hide from ourselves. We make excuses. We forget the things we are ashamed of. We exaggerate our virtues and minimize our faults. We live in a comfortable fog of self-deception. But death strips all of that away. Death is the moment when you finally see yourself as you actually are. The memories that stay are the ones that reveal your true character. The ones that show who you really became during your time on earth. Everything else falls away because everything else was just surface, just the temporary circumstances of your particular life. What stays is what you chose to do with those circumstances. What stays is how you loved or failed to love. Padre Pio saw this vision repeat itself countless times. Different souls, different lives, but the same essential pattern. A woman stood surrounded by the memories of her children, not the routine moments of feeding and clothing them, though those had been real enough in life. What remained was the quality of her presence with them, the times she had been patient when exhausted, the moments she had listened with real attention instead of distraction, the instances when she had put their needs before her comfort. These memories blazed around her like jewels, but also present were the times she had been cruel in her anger, the words she had spoken too wound, the coldness she had shown when they needed warmth. Both sets of memories remained. Both revealed who she had been. A man stood looking at his life's work. He had built a successful business. In life, he had been proud of his accomplishments. But now the deals and profits and victories meant nothing. They had dissolved completely. What remained was how he had treated his employees. Had he been just or exploitive? Generous or greedy? Did he see them as human beings or as tools for his advancement? The memories that stayed answered those questions with brutal honesty. His success meant nothing now. Only his choices about how to treat other people carried weight in eternity. Padre Pio began to understand the architecture of the soul. We think our lives are about what happens to us. We measure our existence by achievements and experiences and the accumulation of pleasant moments. But God measures differently. God sees the soul as a vessel being shaped by every choice we make. Every act of love enlarges the soul's capacity to receive love. Every act of selfishness shrinks it. Every moment of genuine connection with another person engraves itself permanently because it participates in something eternal. Every moment of isolation and withdrawal leaves the soul smaller and more closed. The memories that stay are the ones that show what shape your soul took during your lifetime. They are the evidence of your transformation, or your refusal to be transformed. This is why they remain when everything else fades. They are not just memories anymore. They are the actual substance of who you became. In his visions, Padre Pio saw souls entering purgatory. Purgatory was not a place of arbitrary punishment. It was the process of finally accepting the truth of those burning memories. The soul in purgatory looks at the moments when it failed to love and feels the full weight of that failure. Not because God is forcing punishment, but because the soul itself finally understands what it rejected. It sees the opportunities for love it ignored. It feels the pain it caused others. It recognizes how small it made itself through selfishness, and it grieves. This grief is purifying. It is the soul finally aligning itself with truth, finally dropping all pretense and defensiveness, finally accepting responsibility for what it chose. The memories remain throughout this process. They are the curriculum of purgatory. The soul must look at each one honestly, feel the full reality of it, and allow that reality to complete the transformation that should have happened in life. Padre Pio saw that some souls resisted this process violently. They tried to justify themselves. They tried to blame others for their choices. They tried to minimize their sins or exaggerate their virtues. But in the light of eternity, such self-deception was impossible to maintain. The memories blazed with objective truth. The soul could not distort them or reinterpret them. It could only accept them or reject them. And rejection meant turning away from God Himself, choosing the loneliness of hell over the humility of truth. The blessed souls, those who entered heaven, carried their memories too. But for them, the memories were pure joy. They looked back at moments of love and saw them now in their full context. They understood how each act of kindness had been a participation in God's own nature. They saw how their prayers had been heard and answered, often in ways they never knew during life. they recognized how God had been present in moments they had felt alone. The painful memories were there as well, but transformed. The sins they had repented of now showed them the depth of God's mercy. The suffering they had endured now revealed its meaning and purpose. Every memory became a window into God's love. Padre Pio taught this vision to his spiritual children. He told them that they were creating their eternal memory right now, in every choice they made. He urged them to live with the awareness that some moments would stay forever, while others would dissolve like dreams. This awareness should change everything about how we live. What matters is not whether you succeed by worldly standards. Your career accomplishments will fade. Your wealth will mean nothing. Your fame or obscurity, your beauty or plainness, your intelligence or simplicity, none of this survives. What matters is what you did with your particular circumstances. Did you use your success to help others or to elevate yourself? Did you share your wealth or hoard it? Did you use your gifts to serve or to dominate? The answer to these questions is what remains. The small moments matter more than you think. The conversation with a stranger who needed kindness, the prayer you said when no one was watching, the temptation you resisted when you could have gotten away with sin, the patience you showed when you were tired, the forgiveness you offered when you had every right to hold a grudge. These moments seem small in life, but they are enormous in eternity because they reveal your character. They show who you really are when no one is looking, when there is no reward, when you have to choose between love and selfishness with no one to impress. Padre Pio also saw that certain kinds of memories burned with special intensity. Moments involving the Eucharist remained with souls in extraordinary clarity. Every Mass they had attended with faith and devotion was a permanent treasure. Every time they had received communion with love, that moment had carved itself into their soul indelibly. The souls could revisit these memories and experience again the encounter with Christ that had happened there. But also, every Mass they had attended with indifference or irreverence remained as a wound. Every communion received in the state of serious sin remained as a burning shame. The same was true of moments involving the poor and vulnerable. Jesus had said that whatever you do for the least of these, you do for me. Padre Pio saw that this was literally true. When a soul looked back at a moment of helping someone in need, they saw Christ's face in that person. The memory revealed that they had been serving Jesus himself without knowing it. And when they looked back at moments of ignoring or dismissing someone in need, they saw that they had turned away from Christ himself. These memories were inescapable proofs of the truth of Christ's words. Padre Pio warned especially about sins of omission, the moments when we could have loved but chose not to, the times we saw someone suffering and walked past, the opportunities to speak truth and remained silent, the chances to reconcile and let them pass. These absences, these failures to act, these refusals to love, they remained as vividly as any action. The soul remembered not just what it did, but what it refused to do. And in eternity, the weight of these refusals was almost unbearable. But Padre Pio's message was not one of despair. He emphasized that we can change which memories we carry right now, while we are still alive. Every sin can be repented of. Every failure can be transformed through confession and genuine sorrow. Every moment of selfishness can be counterbalanced by choosing love today. The past is not fixed in its eternal meaning until death. As long as you are alive, you can change the character of your memories through repentance and conversion. This is what confession does. When you confess a sin with true contrition, God does not just forgive it, He transforms it. The memory remains, but its eternal meaning changes. Instead of being a witness against you, it becomes a witness to God's mercy. Instead of being a source of shame, it becomes a cause for gratitude. The souls in heaven look back at their forgiven sins and praise God for His goodness in redeeming them. The memory stays, but it no longer condemns. It glorifies. Padre Pio urged his penitents to examine their lives in light of this truth. He asked them to consider which memories they were creating. Were they filling their lives with the kind of moments that would survive death? Were they loving consistently, sacrificing willingly, praying faithfully? Or were they wasting their time on things that would dissolve into nothing? Were they building a treasure of love that would last forever? Or were they investing in temporary pleasures that would leave them empty-handed in eternity? He told them to pay attention to the small choices of daily life, the way you speak to your spouse in the morning, the attention you give your children when they interrupt you, the patience you show the difficult co-worker, the generosity you offer when asked for help, the prayers you say before sleep. These are not minor details. These are the materials of your eternal existence. These small choices are creating the memories that will define you forever. Padre Pio also taught that we should help others create good memories. When you show kindness to someone, you are giving them a memory that will last beyond death. When you forgive someone, you are creating for them a moment of grace they will treasure forever. When you pray for someone, especially someone who does not know they need prayer, you are participating in their salvation in ways you cannot imagine. Your acts of love toward others become their eternal inheritance. The vision also revealed something about the interconnection of souls. Padre Pio saw that the memories we carry are not isolated. They involve other people. When you remember an act of love, you remember both the giver and the receiver. The memories tie souls together. The bonds of genuine love do not break at death. They continue, purified and perfected. This is why the communion of saints is real. The connections made through love in this life persist in the next. The people you loved truly, you will know again. The relationships built on genuine charity are eternal relationships. But the opposite is also true. The harm you do to others creates connections of a different kind. When you wound someone deeply, that wound becomes part of both your memories. The victim carries the memory of being hurt. The perpetrator carries the memory of hurting. Both must be healed before either soul can be fully at peace. This is why forgiveness is so crucial, both given and received. Unforgiven injuries are chains that bind souls to each other in pain rather than love. Padre Pio lived in light of this vision every day. He celebrated every Mass knowing that it would be remembered forever by everyone present. He heard every confession knowing that he was helping souls transform their memories from condemnation to mercy. He blessed every person who came to him knowing that his blessing might be a memory they would treasure in eternity. He suffered his wounds, his pain, his exhaustion, offering it all as a gift that would become part of his permanent identity, as a victim soul united to Christ. And he urged everyone to do the same, to live deliberately, to choose love consciously, to create memories worthy of eternity, to repent quickly when you fail, to forgive freely when others fail you, to see each day as an opportunity to shape your soul into something beautiful that will last forever. The vision returns to the soul standing in that vast space after death. The memories have sorted themselves. Some have faded. Some remain with terrible or beautiful clarity. The soul sees itself truly now. It sees what it became during its time on earth. It sees which moments mattered and which did not. It understands finally what it could not grasp during life, that every choice was forever, that every act of love was eternal, that nothing was neutral or meaningless. And now the soul must live with what it chose to become. If it chose love consistently, chose sacrifice willingly, chose God daily, then the memories that remain are pure light. They are the evidence of a life well lived. They are the treasures gathered in heaven. They are the soul's eternal inheritance, and they are beautiful beyond description. If the soul chose selfishness, chose pleasure over duty, chose pride over humility, chose self over God, then the memories that remain are burning accusations. They show a life wasted, opportunities squandered, love rejected. They are evidence of a soul that made itself small and dark and closed. And unless the soul accepts the purification of purgatory, unless it finally submits to truth and allows those memories to teach it what it refused to learn in life, it will carry them as torment forever. Padre Pio saw all of this, and he spent his life trying to warn people, trying to teach them, trying to show them that they were creating their eternity right now. He wanted everyone to understand that death is not an ending that erases the past. Death is a revelation that shows what the past truly meant. The memories that stay are the ones that show who you really were beneath all the pretense and self-deception of earthly life. So he asks you now, through this vision, which memories are you creating today? When you look back from eternity, which moments from this day will remain? The time you spent scrolling mindlessly through distractions, or the time you spent in genuine conversation with someone you love? The moment you indulged your anger, or the moment you chose patience instead? The prayer you rushed through carelessly, or the prayer you offered with your whole heart? The chance to help that you ignored, or the help you gave freely even though it cost you something? You are writing your eternal story right now. Every choice is a word in that story. Every action is a sentence. Every day is a page. And when your life ends, the story will be complete. The only question is what kind of story it will be. Will it be a story of love that triumphed over selfishness? Will it be a story of faith maintained through struggle? Will it be a story of gradual transformation into someone more generous, more patient, more kind than you were at the beginning? Or will it be a story of opportunities missed and love refused? A story of comfort chosen over courage? A story of a soul that grew smaller and harder instead of larger and more tender? The choice is yours. The time is now. The memories you create today will be the companions of your eternity. Choose love. Choose sacrifice. Choose prayer. Choose forgiveness. Choose God. Because these are the only things that survive death. These are the memories that stay. These are the treasures that last forever. Padre Pio saw which memories remain after death, and what he saw should change everything about how you live today. Your eternal self is being formed right now, shaped by the choices you make in these fleeting moments. When everything else fades into nothing, only love remains. Only what you did for others matters. Only the moments when you said yes to God will shine like jewels in the darkness. Everything else will burn away like straw in fire, leaving nothing but ash and regret. Live as if every moment matters, because it does. Love as if each act of kindness is permanent, because it is. Pray as if your prayers are being written in eternal books, because they are. Forgive as if mercy given is mercy received, because that is exactly how it works. Serve as if Christ Himself stands before you in the face of everyone you meet, because He does. The memories you carry beyond death are the memories being made right now. There are no neutral moments. There are no meaningless choices. Everything you do is either building you into someone capable of heaven or someone trapped in the prison of your own selfishness. The path you are walking today leads somewhere. The habits you are forming now will be with you forever. The character you are shaping will be your eternal identity. Padre Pio lived knowing this truth every second of his life, and it made him a saint. He knew that his wounds would be remembered forever as signs of his union with Christ. He knew that every prayer he offered was permanent. He knew that every soul he guided toward God would be a connection lasting through eternity. He knew that every moment of suffering accepted in love was making him into someone beautiful, someone eternal, someone worthy of the vision of God. And he knew that the same possibility was open to every person. You do not have to be a stigmatic mystic to create eternal memories. You only have to love faithfully in the circumstances God has given you. You only have to say yes to grace when it comes. You only have to choose the good when faced with temptation. You only have to forgive when holding grudges would be easier. You only have to pray when prayer feels dry and pointless. You only have to serve when no one will notice or thank you. These simple choices, made consistently, become the golden thread running through your life. They are the pattern of love that remains when everything else unravels. They are the proof that you understood what life was for. They are the memories that will make you recognize yourself as someone blessed, someone redeemed, someone who became what you were always meant to be. So Padre Pio's vision returns to you now at this very moment with a simple question. What memory are you creating right now? In this present moment, which will last forever, what are you choosing? Love or indifference? Prayer or distraction? Service or selfishness? Forgiveness or resentment? Each choice adds another memory to the collection you will carry beyond death. Each choice shapes you a little more into who you will be forever. Choose carefully. Choose consciously. Choose love. Because when you stand in that vast space after death, surrounded by the blazing truth of your life, you will see clearly which moments mattered. And you will know, finally and forever, what you became during your time on earth. The memories that stay are the only things you truly own, the only treasures that survive the fire, the only light that remains when everything else fades into shadow.